Are you getting started with podcasting or thinking about it and confused which microphone to get because there's so many out there? So confusing. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 main tips to look for and when thinking about getting a microphone. So let's get into it. So my first tip is that it needs to be simple. You want a microphone that you can plug in and play. Whatever sort of computer you have, it is going to work fine for you. So there are 2 different types of leads that come with microphones, and I would recommend that you get a USB lead microphone. Some microphones come with the 2 different types, both of them on the end of one lead. So one of them is XLR and one of them is USB. And why I recommend that you start with a USB microphone is that you've just got this ending that plugs straight into your computer with no need to get an audio interface for them. Whereas if you have an XLR lead, you will need to plug that into an audio interface, learn how to use that, make sure it's compatible with your computer. It does improve the sound somewhat, and you can do things with it to change the sound, alter it. But for a starter, I would really recommend that you got a microphone with a USB lead or one that has both, and then brilliant, you've got the best of both worlds. It will scale with you. So my second tip is that it is budget friendly, and if it comes with accessories as well, all the merrier. And the 2 microphones that I recommend are both that. You don't have to spend a fortune on a microphone. Now, this microphone here that I am using is called a Heil PR40. It is a wonderful microphone. It's worth about £350 in the UK, I believe. It makes the tones of your voice sound fantastic. It has got that XLR lead connection, so you have to have an audio interface with it, but it is a great microphone, but quite pricey if you're just starting out. Now, something like this, which is the Blue Yeti, which is very, very popular, is bit better budget friendly than it was a short while ago. You can get them at the moment for about £100 in the UK, but I'm going to get into this the next tip of why there's just some things about it that I wouldn't quite recommend for a beginner. So the 2 microphones that I really recommend are what we call dynamic microphones, and they are the Audio Technica 2100X and the Samsung Q2U. Both of them are very, very similar microphones. They look very similar. They sound very similar. And I believe they both have the XLR and the USB connection. Both are very, very reliable microphones. They've been out for a long, long time, and they're really budget friendly. So the Audio Technica is about £70 at the moment. The Samsung Q2U is about £80 in the UK at the moment. And you can get them with accessories, so like a little desktop stand or something like that, which makes it really, really helpful for you so that you don't have to get a big boom arm like I've got, and you don't necessarily have to buy a separate pop shield for it either. So let's get on to tip number 3. So you want a microphone that sounds good. You want a microphone that doesn't pick up loads of background noise, maybe your computer whirring in the background, maybe your dog barking, or the rain on the window pane, or all sorts of different noises. You want one that's got what we call a cardioid polar pattern. And that means that it picks up your voice in front of it and not so much the sounds all the way around it. And those two microphones, the Audio-Technica ATR 2100 and the Samsung Q2U, both have that polar pattern. So does this Heil PR40 that I'm using. And the Blue Yeti does have that, but it has other options as well. It's a little bit more complicated. You've got a button on the front and you've got two buttons on the back. Now the ones on the front are pretty handy, and actually they're just to do with plugging your earphones into the bottom of it and the volume that you want, and if you want to mute it you can just press the mute button. But on the back they've got different polar patterns and a gain button to make the microphone louder or quieter, so that can really confuse people as a starter microphone. I would recommend that you got one that's simple, that can sit on your desk. It's cheaper, but it's a good quality one that stood the test of time. So I really recommend those two microphones for you. And I'd love to know if you've got your voice out there, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.